to MTV. Actually, I'm Johnny Jackson. Welcome to MTV. How about Mr. Drew Brees instead? Much better. Thank you, number 9, Mr. Drew Brees, for that introduction. I feel like running through a wall for you. It is a wonderful Thursday afternoon in New Orleans and beyond. Summertime continues. What do you think, about 7-8 more weeks of this? Our non-summer season coming maybe mid-October. And we're good till about mid-April. And then summer hits us. And then the non-summer season, and those two things rinse and repeat. My sister lives like near Charlottesville, Virginia. She gets like 90 days of fall, 90 days of spring, 90 days of summer, 90 days of winter. I mean, like it's 3 months of like each season every year. It's crazy. We get summer and non-summer. Anyway, a few more weeks left. Thanks for joining us on this Thursday afternoon. Yeah, right around when we're fading into really good weather, pretty steady for a few weeks, it'll be time to vote for the President of the United States. This stuff's hard to break down. It gets more confusing as time goes on. That's why we bring a couple of experts on, a couple of native New Orleanians. These guys are native New Orleanians, but then kind of beelined out of Dodge. Quinn, after getting out of Newman, went to Georgetown. Ellis, after getting out of Jesuit, ended up in New York and eventually at Columbia. And Ellis, I don't think's ever really been back full-time ever since. Quinn's been back a little bit, but both have really been looking from outside of New Orleans. They're national pundits. They're authors. They give their perspective nationwide. I love getting them on because they're us. They're local guys that get us, yet they're national guys. Quinn is right-leaning. Ellis is left-leaning. They join us on the program. How are you, Quinn?
I'm doing great, Corey. Thanks for that kind introduction. Glad to be on with you.
Quinn spelled with one N, Hillyer, Hillyer. QuinnHillyer.com's the website for everything Quinn Hillyer, right?
Yes, it is. And then you can also follow me at mostly at at the Washington Examiner. And then every Sunday I'm in the Times-Picayune/Advocate.
Ellis Henican's with us as well. How are you, Ellis?
I'm doing good. And, Corey, the interesting thing is both of us, now that we're fully slouched into middle age, keep spending more and more time in New Orleans. What's that about?
Well, because it's the greatest city on earth. When it was, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 stuff, you had to leave to earn a living, make a life. But, now that you're getting middle age, towards the tail end of middle age, that, relaxation weekend festival stuff kicks in a little bit more, and New Orleans is home of all that. That's all.
I think I appreciate it more now than I ever have. That's the truth.
No, I agree. I had a buddy that went to California for like 15 years, and he's still there, but he comes back to New Orleans, and the first thing he says is, man, it took me 5 minutes to get to the gym in New Orleans. It takes me 30 minutes in California. And then the next time, God, New Orleans is such a quaint city. Just things like that you got to, it's nice to get the outside perspective. What do you think, Quinn?
Well, I mean, if I had full-time job in New Orleans, I never would have moved away.
Yep.
I mean, if I'd had, the right full-time job. I love New Orleans. That's why I still keep an apartment there, get over there as many weekends as I can, and, of course, get over there enough to write for the Picayune and the Advocate. New Orleans, with all of its problems, and I've got a piece coming this weekend pointing out just how bad its problems are. With all its problems, it really is the most wonderful city in the world.
Yeah, I often say that exact same thing myself. Ellis, you can almost work in any field and go to most major cities in North America and find a job in that field. New Orleans isn't like that. We've been kind of on a 40-year stagnation or even slide. And you can't just move here and expect to work in your field. It's different.
Well, that is true, although I have to tell you, even I'm getting a little optimistic about that. In the era of remote work and the global economy, I do think those things are getting a little more possible.
Quinn, I'll say this, the Houston, Dallas, Atlanta's, Phoenix, Denver, traffic jams, congestion, generic neighborhoods stacked on top of each other, all brand new. It's all the same. I don't know. I think after a few generations of that, folks might throw their arms up in the air and say, enough of this.
What? Enough of the sameness of other places?
Yeah, just everywhere in America with booming growth. It's fantastic, but it's sort of a catch-22 in New Orleans. I'd love some of that booming growth, but also it is quaint and it's easy to get around. It's manageable. I mean, these other places are Houston's a nightmare driving around that city.
Oh, my goodness, yeah. And New Orleans has personality. It's whimsical.
Yep.
You drive around and the houses are painted fun colors. They have good architecture that doesn't look like it's all from a cookie cutter. And, of course, the music and the food and the and just the books and the culture. New Orleans is the best.
Yep. Tough to beat. We're visiting with Quinn Hillyer and Ellis Henican. All right, guys, you ready to jump into it?
Sure.
Ellis, what do you think of the Walls selection?
I think it's great. I think he's an impressive, authentic guy. I think he connects with people in a very natural way. He's a pretty good contrast to Kamala Harris, reaching out into a different part of the country with a very, very different background. I love the way she calls him coach. I think that's maybe the single word that sums up what it is that they're hoping that he will use to connect with swing voters out there all across America. I've been pretty happy with it, honestly.
Quinn?
I think he, and I wrote this, it was in the Picayune last week, I think he is a radical leftist, horrible nominee for a radical leftist, horrible presidential nominee. She made a mistake by not moving to the center. And I think he's both will be a political liability when all is said and done, and he scares me to death governing, but then so would she.
Ellis?
Quinn, I think you make a mistake arguing it that way. And I know that's a prevailing argument among many conservatives and Republicans today is to, use words like leftist. I think Trump has started using the word communist. And I don't think you can look at those people and really defend that concept. I mean, look at life in Minnesota right now, right? Their economy's doing great. Their crime situation is dramatic. They are providing services to people that are important and necessary. He's not running that place like it's some kind of Stalin era. We should be so lucky in New Orleans to have a city that operated as well as Minneapolis or a state that operated as well as Minnesota does.
That's absurd. Number one, Minnesota is one of the states that's bleeding population. It is not growing, it's bleeding in population. He inherited an $18 billion surplus and has spent it all, spent it all down, even though he raised taxes. He let Minneapolis burn after the, George Floyd thing, where even the liberal mayor of Minneapolis begged him to send in the National Guard, and he wouldn't do it for 12 hours. Then he only sent in 100 troops because he was afraid of hurting people's feelings. It took him 4 days to send in the requested 600 National Guard troops while the biggest city in the state burned. I could go on and on and on. In fact, I probably will. But I don't just throw around words like radical and extreme leftist. I will back them up.
So why is he so popular? That's a very diverse state of all kind of rural conservative people, along with some educated urban people, and the guy's got an approval rating well up into the 60s. I mean,
no, he doesn't.
They seem to like all that stuff he's doing, don't they?
No, he doesn't have an approval rating high in the 60s. He is in a state that has gone Democratic for every election, I believe, since, oh my goodness, it might be every election for the last 70 years, maybe more. And he won his re-election with only about 52.5% of the vote, if I remember right.
Hold that thought, Quinn. Let me knock out a quick break real quick.
And he won it by running up margins.
Hold that thought, Quinn. We're coming right back. Don't move, guys. I don't mean to interrupt. Coming right back.
You know Rouse's sells only Angus beef? Angus beef's natural marbling means more succulence and flavor. Whether you choose Rouse's USDA Prime, Choice, or Select, it'll be only Angus beef when you get it at Rouse's. Tastes like home.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool, New Orleans. NOLAAC.com is your cool spot.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 airy locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
The French bread of the city of New Orleans. Good to the last crumb. Leidenheimer French bread.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore led us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
For over 20 years, serving healthy, fresh, authentic Middle Eastern cuisine, Lebanon's Cafe. In the Carrollton section of Uptown on the streetcar line, Wednesday through Monday, 11 a.m. to 9:30. Lebanon's Cafe.
Insurance Agency, Auto, Home, Flood, Business, 504-556-0809. Dave Miet, INS Agency. Dave Miet Insurance Agency, Auto, Home, Flood, Business, 504-556-0809. Dave Miet, INSagency.com.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. Yeah, you right. Corey Johnson back at you. Young's Dry Cleaning's been with you since 1940. 84 years of excellence, a New Orleans institution. Want to experience the best dry cleaner? Tired of your dry cleaner and want to experience the best? Young'sDryCleaning.com. Young'sDryCleaning.com. Quinn, you were going off on how much you love the Walls vice president selection. Please continue. I apologize about the break, by the way.
Well, I really should give Ellis a chance, but let me finish with this because this really sticks under my craw. He not only has made Minnesota literally what they call a sanctuary city for transgender children, meaning he tells parents that he wants them to bring their children to Minnesota, their children, mind you, they're minors, to Minnesota to transition. But the law actually is worded so that if parents there object to their children's transition, the state can take the child away from the parents. Now, I'm not going to get up on a big crusade against adults wanting to transition or whatever. But when you have children and you know they can go through phases and the parents want to say, slow down, maybe this isn't the right thing for my child, who the bleeping bleep is the state to say, well, we can take the child away from you because we consider it child abuse for you not to let your child have surgery and hormones. That's sick.
Quinn, listen, you're going down the wrong path on this one. I don't really want to get into an argument about transgender children, but I think as a conservative, you ought to be with me on this. You ought to be able to say, these are issues that families ought to deal with. The government should not be inserting themselves into this, as the state legislature in Louisiana and the governor here insist on doing. These are complicated psychological issues for troubled children that ought to be dealt with not by the members of the legislature and the governor, and they ought to be parents and their clergymen and their medical professionals and psychologists ought to be free to advise that. That really ought to be the conservative position. And let's broaden it out to things that really matter to most people. I just looked up the education numbers by state. We're 48 in Louisiana, and they're 4 in Minnesota in the outcomes of education system. It's not correct to try and make Minnesota out to be some kind of modern-day Soviet Union. I think Donald Trump makes that mistake. He accuses every single person of being a communist who disagrees with him, a socialist, a leftist. I don't think most Americans buy that kind of language. It sounds overheated, and it doesn't comport with the experiences that people have in their daily lives.
Al, let's play back what you just started with. You said it should be a family decision and the state should stay out of it. Then go back to listen to what I said. I said Minnesota's law that Tim Walz pushed and signed does exactly what you warn against. It says the state can take the child away from the parent if the parent does not agree to have the child transition. That is exactly what he would do. That's what the law does. He signed the law. That is putting the state. In fact, that's the worst way to put a state into a family dynamic that can possibly be imagined, to say the state can literally take the child away from the parent because the parent does not agree when the child says, the 9-year-old, the 10-year-old says, oh, I want surgery. I want, X, Y, or Z. I want hormones. Shouldn't the parent be the one deciding that, not the state?
First of all, there are 0 cases of that occurring. And secondly, Quinn, I would like for you to join me then, given this passionate argument that you're making, this passionate argument to denounce then what our own home state of Louisiana has done by passing these laws designed to harass these children in complex psychological situations, substituting the judgment of the Louisiana legislature of all people for these complex issues on issues. By the way, it isn't only transgender. It's the exact same thing they're doing on women's reproductive health and on a series of other, and the religion in the classroom, yet another example of the state doing that. Let's go for freedom. Let's go for freedom on these things and let individual families and their own professionals deal with it and get the damn government out of it. Can't you join me on that?
I can join you. I just joined you. We're talking about Tim Walz, and I'm talking about one of the sickest laws I have ever seen in my life that Tim Walz enthusiastically pushed and that he enthusiastically signed, that lets Minnesota state government take the child away from the parents.
Boy, my vice presidential question, each VP pick on each side seems more extreme than maybe the presidential pick on each side. Kind of seems like a lame question after what you guys were just going back and forth on.
Let me just say this: I will take Governor Walz 1,000 times before I want to try and defend that crazy guy on the Republican, who actually, it's sort of interesting. Let me float a theory with you, about Vance. So one of Vance's problems, and he has several. One of them is that he has operated in the realm of polemics in recent years, right? Where his job is basically to say provocative things to get people riled up. And boy, when you take someone like that and plunk him in the middle of national politics, they spend the entire campaign needing to eat provocative and, frankly, a bunch of dumb and many offensive things they have said. I don't think this guy's doing the former president, any good at all. And I think he's going to continue to hurt that ticket. I'm not sure he's going to make it to November.
You might be right. See, the difference, and this happens again and again on your show, Corey, the difference between Ellis and me is it's very rare that Ellis actually diverts from the party line on the left, but I do so all the time on the right, which is why I have written several absolutely scathing columns against J.D. Vance, because I'm not partisan. I will call balls and strikes on my own side, and I completely agree with Ellis. J.D. Vance is a walking disaster, and from the things that he advocates, including wildly unconstitutional things, he could be dangerous as president. So I will agree with that.
Oh, I admire you for your independence on those matters, Quinn. It's one of the best things about you, man.
Hey, guys, real quick, forget about Vance specifically or Walz specifically, but ideology and how extreme they are, at least perceived. Isn't it fair to say they might be more extreme than the presidential candidates? And why would they go with someone exactly like them or more extreme instead of what you were implying earlier, Quinn, with Kamala Harris? Go with someone more moderate that you're going to attract maybe independents, left-leaning Republicans, Democrats that are undecided, that kind of thing, right? You got the base. You got the base. What's that, Quinn?
Well, listen, here's the listen, I understand the calculations, right? I mean, there was an argument that you could make that Shapiro would have been the strongest candidate, or that the astronaut senator from out in Arizona would have been the strongest candidate. This is all what you have to answer to, though, Corey, on that question. Damn, it's been the most successful launch of a campaign in any of our lifetimes. So, I mean, part of me wants to say, yeah, you make a kind of a good point. On the other hand, whatever she's doing, she ought to just keep doing it, don't you think?
Quinn?
First of all, I have seen plenty of evidence that her momentum with swing voters has been deterred by her choice of Walz. She has excited her base, and that is undeniable. He's a very folksy guy. but she is not winning over the swing voter. She's not winning over, soccer moms, typical suburbia. And I think that in the end, Walsh will be a drag on the ticket, just like I think in the end, Vance will be a drag on Trump's ticket. I think they're both disasters.
Ellis, your original point.
But wait, guys, you don't think it's been a pretty remarkable campaign launch?
Real quick, I think it's been a remarkable campaign launch, but couldn't one argue that you've gone from a horse and a buggy to a Model T and not a modern car? Like you're sort of insinuating that that Biden was just that bad, or at least perceived to be that bad, and anything with a pulse would have been this kind of reaction, or no?
That's what I think. Look, Donald Trump has about a 47% ceiling. He's not going to get much more than 47% of the vote. The natural anti-Trump vote was there for the taking as soon as they got Biden out of the way. The question is whether they can push beyond the dedicated, fear of Trump vote, and I don't see it. As I say, she has excited her base.
Hang on, Quinn. I hate to do it to you again. Hang on. I got to do it to you again. Coming right back, guys. Don't move.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
1970 was an exciting time in New Orleans. The first Jazz Fest was held, the city hosted its first Super Bowl, and the first Helm Paint location opened on Earhart Boulevard. While the floppiest, mood rings, and pet rocks may the 70s, Helm Paint has grown to become your premier source for quality Benjamin Moore products, competitive pricing, and personal service. Please visit one of our locations today and we'll meet our competitors' prices on any identical product. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
When USA Today ranked the 10 best must-visit New Orleans restaurants for travelers, Mid-City's own Katie's made the list. USA Today says Scott Craig is chef-owner at Katie's, a much-loved Creole Italian eatery that draws armies of regulars for lunch, brunch, and dinner. A neighborhood spot where locals congregate and New Orleans-style hospitality rules. Indeed it does. Katie's in Mid-City.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamar Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Outdoor dining, Middle Eastern cuisine, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe, some of the city's finest lamb chops and shish kebab, Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn, Lebanon's Cafe.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com.
For Leidenheimer Baking Company, producing the perfect French bread is more than a vocation. It's a sacred mission. And for 5 generations, they've used the same time-honored process, baking their signature loaf with its crisp crust and delicate center, unique and still good to the last crumb. From the finest French Quarter restaurants to your local po' boy shop, for over 125 years, New Orleans' own Leidenheimer. Quinn, that break train cut you off again. Did you have any final thoughts before we move on?
No, I've said my piece.
Yep. Ellis?
And Quinn said it very eloquently, too. I got to give him credit.
Hey, Quinn, Kamala Harris didn't seem like a great vice president, but it's kind of hard to give a valid opinion on that because the position can be just sort of, I don't know, convoluted, sort of a non-entity position. With all that said, why should someone think she'll be a good president?
There, ask him. I think she will be one of the worst presidents we've ever had.
Ask him. Hey, him.
I'll say this to both of you. I think she's surprising a lot of people already. I mean, it's certainly true that people who had criticisms of her and thought she was too faint in the role and didn't make enough of a mark. I hear all of that stuff, but I don't know anybody who could look at the last 3 weeks or so and not say, man, has she turned this thing around? She's inspired people. She's been articulate. I know people complain she isn't sitting for this interview or she's not doing that thing, but she pretty much single-handedly turned this race around. I think you got to acknowledge that, don't you?
Quinn, I think that's pretty accurate. I mean, President Trump can sit there and say she's stupid, she's not intelligent. I think she's pretty smart and she's articulate and she can go back and forth with just about anyone. You may disagree with the ideology, but I don't think she's going to stumble or bumble or be intimidated. Is Ellis on to something or no?
No, I think she's incredibly inarticulate when she doesn't have a teleprompter. I mean, you look at social media and there are dozens and dozens and dozens of clips of her saying stuff that just sounds inane. It sounds like something a 6th grader running for class president would say, and that would be a 6th grader who was running and losing for class president because they sound so bad. I think she's, if she were really good, she would get out of her basement and actually take questions. I think it's pitiful that she's refusing interviews.
Ellis, there's a lot of truth to that. I've seen a lot of crazy comments that she made, not like crazy, like she's insane, just convoluted and strange and weird and didn't seem to know what she was talking about or got off target. But she seems more maybe prepped and primed and ready to be presented as a presidential candidate. When you're VP, I'm sure there's not nearly as much emphasis on all that stuff. What do you think?
And you know what? I like it when Quinn says that because, and I hear it from others. He's not the only person saying it, but it lowers expectations. It makes me very, very eager to await the first Trump-Harris debate, right? Trump has been saying, "Oh, she's so dumb. She can't speak. She's of questionable racial heritage. All kind of crazy stuff about her." And then you just ask Joe Biden whether that woman has any claws in a debate. Let's see how she does after we lower the expectations way down to the bottom.
I think that's fair to say too, Quinn. But it is a wait and see.
Well. Yeah, it's a wait and see. Sorry to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
I apologize. But yes, I'll ask Joe Biden. When Kamala Harris started the 2020 campaign, she was one of the co-front runners, and then she did that series of about 4 or 5 Democratic debates, and she dropped like a rock. She actually accused Joe Biden of being racist, and voters ran from her in the polls so fast that she didn't even make it to Christmas before she dropped out of the race. So, no, I don't think she's a very good debater. She proved exactly otherwise. Her lone saving grace is that she'll be going up against Trump, who is a buffoon and who might, try to cause a racial riot or something, because the stuff that he said against her racially was just vile and just totally unacceptable.
Do you all, by the way, do you get the sense, and I know, Quinn and I, neither one of us are Trump boosters, obviously, but there's something off about him, isn't there? I mean, maybe we're just paying attention to it more because we don't have Biden to look at, but I don't know if you listened to any of that Elon Musk debate or listened to I didn't hear the press conference today, but I saw the last one, and I don't know. He seems to me like he might be getting a little meandering.
Well, I think people think it's like an NFL quarterback. Drew Brees will just play forever, and he'll play at this level forever, and there'll never be a drop-off. Tom Brady, etc. No, I mean, Trump may not be Joe Biden, and he may not be 81, but he's 78, isn't he?
Yes, and I think he is definitely showing. I mean, look, he was always out there, okay? He was always prone to say or do anything, but I really do think he's showing serious signs of mental decline, and it's frightening as hell.
I don't think that's fair of you to say that, Quinn. I mean, that's like me saying, would you rather be by a battery or in the water with the battery? With the sharks in the water or the battery with the water? All right, I'm going to move on.
I'll tell you another thing that strikes me. And I don't know whether you all see this, but it seems to me that all the positions he's been taking lately are pretty much from 1988. Right? I mean, we're swift voting walls. We're doing this Willie Horton stuff on Harris. We're going back to this kind of place where our culture was, 30, 40 years ago. And I don't think America is the same place it was in 1988.
All right, I'm glad you said that, because here comes my weird question. I'll ask it anyway. Is America, quote, ready for a female president, Ellis?
Sure. I don't even think it's that much of an issue anymore, honestly.
Quinn?
I don't think it's an issue either. I think America is very ready for a female president. It's ready for any kind of president that, any race, any sex, as long as the person is competent and of good character.
Hey, what?
And sometimes not, by the way. Look at 2016.
Well, yeah, but I mean that the point is that you've got to have a majority of the public thinking the person is competent and of good character, and I think 85% of the public would be perfectly fine with a woman as president.
Hey, Quinn, what's more of a threat to America's democracy? A potentially hyper-liberal woke president or Donald Trump in for a second term?
Would you rather the strychnine or the arsenic?
Wow.
It's a race to the bottom.
Ellis?
Well, I mean, you know what I think about that, but it's interesting, and I've discussed this with a lot of my Republican friends, and people are wrestling with it. I mean, Chris Christie, who I've worked with a bunch over the years, is I think wrestling with that. I think Quinn is wrestling with that. It's not an easy question for someone who can say, listen, there are some aspects of Trump's philosophical outlook that you agree with. On the other hand, he has these authoritarian tendencies and this erratic personality and some things you really don't agree with. And if someone's really being honest, and I think we can be here, it isn't an easy question on the right these days.
Hey, Ellis, is RFK Jr. going to affect this race? This isn't a Ross Perot, Ralph Nader type of influence, right?
I mean, he talk about dropping like a stone. He seems to be the incredible shrinking man at the moment. I would say right now he probably pulls a little more from Trump and helps the Democrats. But I don't know. I think by election day he's probably going to be down around 1%, but in a close election that can matter, I guess.
Quinn, I think he was trying to get in touch with Kamala Harris about a position in the administration reportedly, but I don't know if that's true or not.
Well, no, I think he wants to know from Kamala Harris whether she would prefer that he find another dead bear to put up in Central Park, or whether he should find a different animal to put it up in a different park, maybe in the park in her home in San Francisco or something like that.
Hey, Quinn, is Elon Musk a Henry Ford or Thomas Edison living among us, or something else?
Something else. And let me say something about Elon Musk, by the way. And you know this. His Twitter, or X, which he stupidly renamed it, has banned me for 7 days. This is how ridiculous it is. He announces that he will allow pornography on the site, actual pornography. But if I say that protesters who are blocking bridges and keeping people from making their life-saving surgeries should be legally dispersed with tear gas, which is a totally legal use, legal tactic for the police, then I get banned from Elon Musk's X for a week, which I am right now. That doesn't make any sense.
Well, may I come out in favor immediately, saying I want Quinn back on X. Put him back on X.
Thank you.
What do you think of Musk?
As the Elon, it's a tough one, right? Because, I mean, he seems like a perfectly horrible character. But you can't deny, I mean, the guy's created some stuff that's been pretty impressive. He's made a ton of money. He's invented some things that have had huge successes. I first ran across him in a personal way when I was doing a book a few years ago with some kids who got stuck in a cave in Thailand. And he tried to insert himself into that story in the most unproductive, dumb way. He was going to build a little submarine that had no chance of doing it. I mean, he ended up accusing all the people who were really helping out with horrible things. I mean, he was a nut job, it seemed to me. I didn't understand how the same guy who could do SpaceX and Tesla could be such a loon.
Well, I guess
he's both of those things.
He's a great father of 11 children. All right, we're coming right back. More with Quinn and Ellis. Don't move.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center. It's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof. Now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
From the owners of Katie's in Mid-City and Bienvenue in Harahan, an old school deli with over a dozen specialty sandwiches. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
For over 120 years, New Orleans' very own Leidenheimer French bread.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville. The Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
What actually lasts a lifetime? Not much, but at Helm Paint, we have something guaranteed to last a lifetime. Benjamin Moore's Regal Select. This paint and primer in one offers cutting-edge waterborne technology, smooth application, and long durability. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, your New Orleans paint store.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
For over 20 years, serving healthy, fresh, authentic Middle Eastern cuisine, Lebanon's Cafe, in the Carrollton section of Uptown on the streetcar line, Wednesday through Monday, 11 a.m. to 9:30. Lebanon's Cafe. The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day. By river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. It's another edition of Hillyer and Henican. Right-leaning Quinn Hillyer, left-leaning Ellis Henican with us. You can check out Quinn online, Quinn with 1 N, Hillyer spelled Hillyer, QuinnHillyer.com. You can check out Ellis online, Henican spelled Henican, Henican.com. Hey, guys, that Trump Elon Musk interview, that was just kind of a big butt-kissing joke, right, Quinn?
Yeah, total.
Just embarrassing.
Legit.
Embarrassing, right?
I mean, just absurd.
Ellis?
You get no argument on that. I had to wait around like 45 minutes for it to start, and then it was just a lot of you're great. No, you're great. No, you're even greater. No, you're really great.
Hey, Quinn, do you think if a Democrat was almost assassinated with a bullet buzzing by their head and clipping their ear, that there'd be more talk about it in the media? It seems like I've heard a lot of my conservative friends complaining about that, and I don't know, there might be some validity to that, or no?
No, I mean, I think there was plenty of talk about it for a while, and then Trump, he had about 3 days of actual sympathy his way, and then he went up and he rambled on in his convention acceptance speech for over an hour and a half after bringing up a parade of bizarre people at his convention. He gave away all the goodwill that he had, and now why would anybody want to talk about that when I mean, after all, thank goodness, all that happened was his ear got nicked, so he wasn't hurt badly. Again, thank goodness. So it's time to move on.
Ellis is almost assassinated. Is the media ignoring him? Ignoring that?
It got plenty of coverage. One good thing, by the way, I did not hear much of people, I wish he got hit. I wish, sometime in these partisan times that we live, people can say stupid, inhumane things, and there might have been a little bit of that, but not very much of it, thankfully.
Hey, you guys care to inform the audience who you're voting for? I'm kind of depressed, not really happy about this election. Is there a winning team, Ellis?
I mean, listen, to me, the choice, you got to vote for one of the two main people, I think, because otherwise you're not having the impact that you should.
Yep.
And to me, the choice is pretty clear. I'm gonna vote for Harris and Walz.
Quinn?
I'm going to do the same thing that I did in 2016 and 2020. I'm going to find somebody that I actually admire and cast a write-in vote.
So you will not be voting for Trump or Harris?
No, I didn't vote for Trump in 16 or 20, and I didn't vote for Biden in 20, and I didn't vote for Hillary Clinton in 2016. I cast write-in votes, and I'll do so again.
Ding, 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 ding. You guys ready for some bonus questions?
Throw them at us, man.
Hey, Ellis, Ukraine's making some progress, embarrassing Putin. I mean, invading Russia and taking Russian soldiers prisoner. I mean, it's kind of mind-blowing.
It's inspiring to watch that ragtag army. Yes, they do have some powerful friends, but they've had a very good week. Now, I'm not saying it's the end of the line there, but they've had a very good week or so.
Quinn, that was pretty impressive, right? And a total embarrassment for Putin.
Wait, I'm sorry. I lost audio for about 5 seconds. What are you talking about?
Ukraine making progress, literally invading Russia and taking Russian soldiers.
It's absolutely wonderful. I am thrilled to see it.
Hey, Quinn, the Israeli-Hamas war, we're 10 months into this thing. Most hostages still not released. How is that possible? And is there an end in sight?
I don't see any end in sight, and I really wish that President Biden and Vice President Harris would make a point of saying the hostages' names more often. Actually, I will give Harris credit for one thing. She did say the hostages' names the one time that she has had a chance to talk since she became the nominee, the de facto nominee. Biden has had 10 months, and he's barely ever mentioned them.
It's inconceivable, Ellis. I mean, we just live our lives. These people, 10 months hostage. It's crazy.
It's listen. You've got to get a ceasefire that will lead to the release of the hostages. In the end, and maybe not everybody agrees with this, but Israel will not be run by Netanyahu, and Gaza will not be run by Hamas, and that is the only road to peace. To say goodbye to both of those people, not equating them, not saying they're morally similar, but neither one of them wants peace.
Quinn, I think that's accurate. I don't think Hamas will be anywhere near the Palestinians, and I don't think Netanyahu will be anywhere near Israel.
I'm not sure of either one.
When it's all said and done, if so, yeah, I just don't see how you get to any kind of a solution. Quinn, you got anything going on? Books released? Fox News, CNN, anything happening?
I wish. Thank you much. No, I would urge people, though, to go buy my novel at Amazon.com. It's called The Accidental Prophet, and it's satire in modern media, politics, and religion. It's a fun read. It has a lot of deep themes underneath it, but on the surface, it's just a rollicking good adventure, at least I hope.
Ellis, you got anything happening?
I'm just cranking along with the book work. I got to write a novel one of these days, though. That sounds like a lot of fun. A lot of work, I know, but it sounds like a lot of fun. I've never done it.
Hey, you guys, I love having you on the program. As always, thanks so much.
Good to talk with you guys.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
That's Quinn Hillyer. Check him out online, QuinnHillyer.com. That's Ellis Henican, Henican.com. Corey Johnson with you, CoreyTalks.com. 5 o'clock powwow. We're coming your way next. Uh-oh, there he is. Oh, Blue Boy, barking up a storm, buddy. What's up? Got a lot coming your way in the 5 o'clock powwow. What? Bradley Sneller from Stacked Coaching, going to talk a little fitness and nutrition. Jeff Dorson from the Humane Society. Plus a lot of news going on in New Orleans, of course. We got it all covered. Coming your way next. Don't move. Down, Blue Boy.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 5 p.m.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Hi, this is Joey Helm. My dad, Bunky Helm, had a vision of a locally family-owned store serving the residential and commercial paint needs of New Orleans. I think Dad would be proud of today's Helm Paint and Decorating, and here's why. We have the best technical staff in the business, providing the best color matching service in Southeast Louisiana. Perfect matching for any color and any brand. And we'll save your colors so you don't have to save those old cans. Helm Paint offers free 2-hour delivery. Our in-store decorators will assist you on deciding what color and type of paint to best showcase your home. But most importantly, as your local independent Benjamin Moore dealer, our products provide the greatest value in the paint industry. Superior coverage, and Benjamin Moore paint simply covers better and lasts longer. New Orleans is a city of vibrant color, and no one else provides the paints of New Orleans like Helm Paint and Decorating. Visit any of our 6 locations or online at helmpaint.com.
Helm Paint, let us do you right. Helm Paint and Supply.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamarck team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamarck Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
5 generations, family owned and operated. Leidenheimer French bread.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville. The Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Pow, zap, boom, bam. It's Fat Man. He's a little overweight. He's kind of chunky. He once ate a whole turkey. He's looking for a box of fudge. Can I have seconds? How about thirds? Can we eat all over again? I'll take another steak. Can I order a second appetizer for dessert? Fat Man. Yeah, you right. Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you. A Thursday afternoon edition of the program. 5 o'clock powwow coming your way, brought to you by Trey Yen in Mandeville. I love Trey Yen in Mandeville. If you're beelining across the causeway right now, why don't you fire in a to-go order at Trey Yen? Curbside delivery. You don't even have to get out of your car. You pull right out in front. They'll walk it right out to your car. It's not Chinese food. It's Chinese cuisine. It's Trey Yen in Mandeville, right at the foot of the causeway. Convenient for you North Shore folks and you South Shore folks. Just 25 short minutes from Lakeside Mall to Trey Yen in Mandeville. There's no driving on the North Shore. You cross the causeway immediately on your left. Trey Yen in Mandeville. So good. 5 o'clock power hour on a Thursday afternoon, brought to you by Trey Yen in Mandeville. Summertime continues. Another 6-8 weeks till we get into October and get out of this, hot summertime season. I guess I'll start my workout in the fall, Too hot right now to start that workout. Bradley Schneller joins us from Stacked Coaching, River Road at Arnold, right by Oshner Hospital on River Road. How you doing, Bradley?
What's happening, Corey? I'm just here wishing to myself that there was a Trey Yen on the South Shore.
Boy, I know. There used to be at Jack's Brewery like 20 years ago.
I wish it would take over that place over in Carrollton.
Yes, we're not going to talk about 5 crappiness. Let's move on. All right. Hey, what about what I just said? It's too damn hot to work out. I'll wait till fall to start my workout. I'll start my workout. Excuses are easy to not work out, right?
Yeah, man. Look, I always tell there's 2 types of people. There are the people that I'm going to start right now, and the people that are going to wait till Monday. And the people that are waiting till Monday are always waiting. They're never taking action.
How do you take action? How do you start today and not push it back till mañana? New Orleans is the mañana city. Siesta, afternoon nap. Why do something today, Bradley, when we can push it off till tomorrow or next week or next month?
I mean, I think it's a number of different things. For some people, it's not high enough of a priority to them. Like I can lead people to water all you want, but unless you're thirsty, you're not going to drink it. Same thing goes for fitness. How important is it to you to make this change in your life? Now, some people out there are thinking like, look, I don't have motivation because I don't know what to do. I don't know where to start. I feel like I would be embarrassed if I went into the gym, or I'm too embarrassed to ask for help. which those are all valid reasons for not starting. And the first thing I would do is find a community of people that you fit in with that's going to help you with that, that's going to make you feel comfortable, make you feel welcomed, and help ease your transition into that world. For the other people that it's just not important to them, you can't help them. There's nothing you can do that's going to change that.
Yeah, no, and that's their prerogative, and you're right. You're not going to be able to change that. Yeah, for me personally, it was just it's like a lot of things in life, Bradley. For me personally, it seems as I get older, I just get sick and tired of the whatever. Like, enough of this. And then I got to change, enough of this. It's kind of like that. And the Pillsbury Doughboy, I was never like out of shape, like I was a big blob, but I wasn't in shape, and I still don't really have very good cardio. And I was just sitting on the sofa, and I was like, man, all I'm doing is getting older, and I'm not doing anything, and that's pathetic. So finally, for me, it was just like, enough's enough. I was kind of pissed off about it, to be honest with you.
I hear that, man. Look, a lot of this is about finding a process that you find enjoyable. Now, enjoyable is relative, right? Like, I love watching football. I'm a huge Saints fan. My relative amount of enjoyment for this upcoming season is probably low. But if we're being real here, like, if you're not excited about working out, or it feels like you're banging your head into a brick wall, the same thing with nutrition, you're going to stop. You're going to quit. You're not going to start. You're not going to do it, right? So you have to find the right thing for you that gets you excited, that creates a little bit of extra motivation. Hey, that was fun. Hey, the people around me are having a good time, and make this enjoyable. Oh, this nutrition plan feels doable. Like, actually, it's pretty flexible. I can eat a lot of different things. Now, of course, there are sacrifices with all that. You actually have to do the work. You have to say no every now and then. But you want to find an enjoyable process for you. Otherwise, it's not a lifestyle.
And if it's not something that is just like you're embracing as, quote, enjoyable, because like happiness is tough to achieve sometimes and it's fleeting. Being content seems more maybe realistic. I think like where you're content doing it. Not, I think where it's not a negative, where you realize that it's a big positive. I think one thing you mentioned, like community of people and finding the right spot, Bradley, honestly, people that want to get in shape that aren't in shape and they do it by themselves, I think that's a rare bird. I think that's very few people can do it by themselves. You've got to be really super disciplined. And I think most people, and I include myself in this, I wish I was that guy who could just, run 100 miles, go do a triathlon and do it all by myself. But I need like community support. I never realized it. But coming into your place, Stacked Coaching over there on River Road by Arnold, by Oshner, not far from Oshner. I don't know. I mean, I like the people. If they're doing it, I can do it. People correcting form, so you're doing stuff right, getting the most out of the exercise, not just wasting your time, all that stuff. It gets me kind of excited and fired up to go do it. So, I mean, I definitely couldn't do it by myself. I think the community thing's big.
Yeah, look, I hear you. There's all types of community, right? Whether you're walking into a gym like mine, Stacked Coaching, and you have like all these people working out together, doing the exact same thing at the same time, similar mindsets, all hoping to achieve a higher level of wellness and health, right? Nutrition and fitness, etc. But there are also other communities for people out there that maybe don't have that type of fitness in their budget, right? Like, you can find virtual communities that are free and talk about your workouts with each other. You could announce your goals on social media. Look, people today live on social media, right? Announce your goals on social media. Ask your friends to hold you accountable. Ask your kids to hold you accountable. Share what you're doing with other people, and you will find the community needed to keep going.
What's the first step?
First step?
Yep.
I mean, the first step is, I think, prioritizing and deciding that this is for you, that you want to do this, that you're tired of change. The first step for you, Corey, was saying, hey, I need help. I'm not happy. I can't do this. What do you have?
Yep, that was totally.
You know, and so for those people, whether that's a Google search of gyms near me and checking out a bunch of different ones, or personal trainers, or fitness groups, fitness clubs. There's a lot of clubs. I want to say there's one called F3 in the greater New Orleans area. That's a free club that meets once a week for fitness. There are a number of different things around the city of New Orleans that are free or low in cost that can help get you off the couch. You just have to reach out. You have to reach out and not be afraid. And I tell you this, the people who are super into fitness, and I mean super into fitness, are the most welcoming, non-intimidating people you will meet.
Oh, no, you're right.
Not what you think.
No, very helpful, helping me all the time, and they're animals. They can, they can do it all, and they're take time out to help me all the time. No, you're right on the money.
Hey, look, one of the biggest things I see for the majority of people that are very into health and fitness is at some point they were where you are today. And I'm not talking about you, Corey. I'm talking about the people listening, right? Thinking about maybe I need to do this. They were once there. They took this journey. They jumped in. They got to where they are now. And now they want to share it with the world. And not only that, they want to help you get there. So they're going to be welcoming, supportive. You just can't be afraid. You got to put yourself out there and trust the process. Do not be afraid of these weird things you see on the internet about people in the gym and gym culture. It's not true.
No, it's not true at all. It isn't true at all. And you get to kind of pick and choose. You can do what you want. I was talking to one of the guys at your place who's just an animal. I mean, he's just fit. He's right around my age. Does triathlons. I was like, man, what do you eat? And he's just like, man, I eat, fat-free turkey and fat-free beef. And I make a big meat sauce in the beginning of the week and I eat it during the week. I was like, all right, time out. I'm not doing that. No, but I mean, you pick and kind of choose.
Your M&Ms, so that's a plus.
Yeah, no, exactly. And the Coca-Cola, it's all out the window. Hey, Bradley, if folks have a question for you about nutrition or working out or fitness, if they want to know something about Stacked Coaching, how can they get in touch with you? How can they find out about the gym? Maybe a website, social media?
Yeah, look, a couple of different ways. You can go to our website, www.stackedcoaching.com. You can fill out a form, and I will answer any question you want. We do free consultations all the time, whether it is fitness and nutrition. I answer questions on Instagram constantly. It's at Stacked Coaching. That's STACKED Coaching. Both of those places are easily accessible to reach me.
Bradley, thanks so much, man. We'll talk next week on radio and TV, and I'll see you on Saturday.
All right, man. Let's get ready for that workout. Later.
Yeah, you're right. That's Bradley Schneller, Stacked Coaching. Check them out. River Road right there by Arnold. Corey Johnson with you on a Thursday afternoon. Don't go anywhere. Commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
Served in New Orleans' finest restaurants, Leidenheimer French bread.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. No AC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. No AC.com, your cool spot.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center. It's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof. Now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore led us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Yeah, you right. Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you on a Thursday afternoon. It's hot out there. If you need air conditioning help, Fair and Honest Lucas and the boys are there. Total maintenance. If you need air conditioning help, New Orleans, Baton Rouge, North Shore, South Shore, East Bank, West Bank, total maintenance is there. Fair and Honest Lucas and the boys, incapable of screwing you around. Air conditioning experts, they're going to diagnose it right. And they come immediately because your AC is not working right, or worse, it's not working at all. Any type of AC problems, total maintenance is there. In New Orleans, it's easy. NOLAAC.com. In New Orleans, East Bank, West Bank, North Shore, NOLAAC.com. In Baton Rouge, Capital City, Tiger Town, think total maintenance. TM-AC.com. TM-AC.com. That's total maintenance. Taking care of you. They've been taking care of me for like 20 years. This guy's been taking care of us for 35. Jeff Dorson, more than 35. Jeff Dorson runs the Humane Society of Louisiana. You can donate, save cats and dogs, kittens and puppies, horses and goats. You can donate right now. HumaneLA.org. HumaneLA.org. Making a difference for decades. How you doing, Jeff?
For the intro, thanks for having me on your awesome show. Plenty to talk about. Tell me when to start.
Start.
Okay, let's talk 4 quick subjects. Bricks, Bienville, Jackson, and there's a third one that I'll come to. So Bricks is a beautiful French bulldog stolen on June 13th. A sister and brother thought it was a good idea to do a home invasion, and they broke in somebody's home while they were there, so an inhabited break-in, took some stuff, ran out. The dog followed them. The woman turned around, picked up Bricks, and ran away, never to be seen again until something great happened. But back up, the police did arrest them. They identified them from all sorts of witnesses and surveillance cameras, but they wouldn't disclose what they did with the dog. The heartbroken family just couldn't get over it. 2 days ago, a French bulldog wandered into somebody's backyard. They recognized it from the photos on TV. They contacted somebody. They got in touch with us. Sure enough, it was Bricks. And
wow.
It was returned to the original owner. How's that for a story?
That's a great story. You kidding me? Anyone that is a pet owner, I don't know what I'd do, man. I really don't. I would be heartbroken, and I would be continuously looking for my dog.
Yep.
And
exactly what the family was. They were heartbroken, and we had a reward. We met with the nice family that found Bricks, and they're happy. They got a couple $100. So great story. Thanks, community. You did the right thing.
We need I think we need to maybe get some legislation passed where when a dog or animal is involved, either stolen or shot or harmed, that it escalates the crime, like a hate crime type of thing.
Well, based on the worth of the animal, that would have been a felony. When it's over a certain amount, it can.
Yeah, over $500, it's a felony.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, where are the two idiots that they arrested? Hopefully, still in jail.
Never know with city court. That's a whole nother story. We're having a lot of problems with them. We give them great cases, and they just water it down to nothing. But that's for another day.
Yep. All right. Bricks is back. That's a good one. What's number 2, Jeff? Avoyles,
Jackson, Bienville. So, around the state, there are very few services. So things can go wrong very quickly for animals caught in a system that doesn't have anything to help them. Avoyles, a knucklehead gets arrested for shoplifting. She's in detention. She has 8 dogs locked in her house. She can't post bond. There's no animal control in Avoyles. So we have to figure out all this crazy stuff to contact relatives in other parishes, other states, get a key, get to the, every day is like this crazy emergency crisis mode that we're in. But sure enough, we got a hold of some people. They drove 4 hours, unlocked the door, fed the dogs and cats. Very, very strange stuff happens all the time. Next, Jackson Parish, way up north, no services, no shelter, no animal control, no rescue. Imagine that. So somebody finds a dog in the middle of the highway, picks it up, calls us. We're 400 miles away with no services. This is a really tough business. So every day we're scrambling how to connect him with any type of rescue within 200 miles. So very challenging.
Yep. Keep going,
and
Jeff.
Last but not least, Bienville, if I may. This is another strange one. Police do their job. They actually make an arrest on animal cruelty. 22 dogs seized. Bienville, again, no shelter, no animal control. The sheriff's deputies have to load up the dogs up in their cars and take them to a local vet. Now, let's do the math. 1 dog per night is about $25 times 22. Most of them are starving, need vaccinations.
Yeah, it's $600.
Care.
It's $550 a night.
So pretty challenging stuff. So then the vet clinic calls me 2 weeks after the arrest saying the parish can't afford to pay any more money. They're going to euthanize them in 24 hours. So how do you think my night went? It falls on people's laps to make these incredible last-minute Hail Mary things, passes to make something happen.
What happened to the 22 dogs in Bienville Parish?
They're about to be euthanized. I make a couple phone calls, and one lady in Michigan, Kathy Bissell Vacuum Cleaners, Bissell Animal Foundation, she listens intently, and she says, yes, we'll make something happen. 2 weeks later, she's picked them all up. Now, how's that for incredible? That is what it takes to make a difference. The word yes. No will never win the day.
So she picked up all 22 dogs and evacuated them.
She did. And we donated $5,000 because that's what it would take to get them transport ready and to thank her.
Wow. HumaneLA.org. This is what Jeff does every day. This is what Jeff has to deal with every day. I don't know, Jeff. I'm not saying this in a joking or in a light way. I don't know how you don't have like PTSD or something like that, or maybe you do. I mean, seriously.
It probably comes out in different ways.
I'm serious because it's like, I don't know, you're in the military, you're police, and you're dealing with murders. They rotate you off of this kind of stuff every 6 months or so. You've been grinding for 35 years, and it's just, not only is it just like cruelty cases and just that kind of painful, but then you top with, either folks that don't give a crap or worse, or belligerent. I mean, it's got to be debilitating for you sometimes.
So strangely, when you have a social justice kind of armor around you, you build up a certain strange tolerance that you try every single freaking day, and you leave it on the mat and you say, well, I gave it everything. So then you just kind of rest and start again. So somehow you can calibrate yourself to do your best every single day without going crazy. But I appreciate you understanding there's a physical, spiritual, and mental and financial toll on trying to do the right thing every day.
Yep. No, exactly. And you've been consistent with this for 35 years, not just unwavering. It's never a day off, basically. It's pretty impressive. Anyway, humanela.org is the website. Why don't you donate? Jeff's a good guy, busting his butt for us. We should help him and all the volunteers and the few employees he has and help him out. humanela.org. Anything else, Jeff?
Yeah, a couple hours of everybody's time can make a huge difference. It doesn't have to be hard. It can be light, kind of fun stuff. We just rescued some ducks out of a drainage pipe the other day. I mean, what could be more joyful than that? You know, ducklings falling in a sewer trap or whatever they're called. So it can be whatever you want. Donate monthly. Donate your car. Give 2 or 3 hours a week, and you'll see, you know, it doesn't take much. So thank you for your time. Corey, thank you for understanding what's behind the scenes. It's all worthwhile.
You're the man, Jeff. Thank you, man.
Anytime.
HumaneLA.org is the website. Check out what they do. HumaneLA.org. You can donate. Go donate right now, humanela.org. On Facebook, Humane Society of Louisiana, they really do a good job keeping up that site. They posting photos, a little paragraph underneath what it's all about. If you go to that website, or that Facebook page, I should say, Humane Society of Louisiana on Facebook, you will go to their website and donate, humanela.org. humanela.org. Corey Johnson with you on a Thursday. Rouse's is with you every day. Every day, 7 days a week. Talk about convenience. Rouse's is there for you, literally. The latest, every Rouse's, there are over 65 Rouse's. The latest, any of them open, 7 a.m. Some Rouse's open at 6:30 in the morning. But the latest, 7 a.m. The earliest, any of the Rouse's locations close, 10 p.m. Some are open later, like 11, even midnight. But the earliest they close is 10 p.m. So pretty much 65 plus Rouse's, 7 days a week, 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. for sure. Some even starting the day earlier and some ending the day even later. No, it's about convenience. It's about quality. It's about selection. It's about price. It's your Rouse's Markets. They're everywhere, taking care of you. Louisiana's own Rouse's Markets. Corey Johnson with you on a Thursday afternoon. If you missed the 4 o'clock hour, I mean, it was like 45 minutes with these guys. You missed a lot. Quinn Hillyer, right-leaning Quinn Hillyer joined us. Left-leaning Ellis Henican. A bunch of topics, a lot of Trump and Harris and all kind of good stuff. That was pretty much taking up the entire 4 p.m. hour. We started the 5 o'clock hour. Bradley Schneller joined us from Stacked Coaching, talking just a little fitness and nutrition. I'm not going to do 20, 30, 40 minutes of it. It's like our Jeff Dorson visit. Going to visit once a week with Bradley and talk a little fitness and nutrition. I love what Bradley says, and it's so true. Think about this. Nutrition is for weight loss. Fitness is for wellness. You can't outwork a bad diet. So somebody that's like, man, I eat whatever I want and I just run all the time and do this all the time. They're kind of like the gambler that says they win. Oh, Jimmy, man, he gambles all the time and he wins. No, Jimmy doesn't win. The bookie wins, the house wins, but Jimmy overall doesn't win. Jimmy might win sometimes, but Jimmy loses most of the time. You can't outrun or outwork a bad diet. So they kind of go hand in hand. Now, what's great is Folks thinking, man, I got to go to the gym and I got to watch what I eat. If you go to the gym, you end up watching what you eat. It just naturally happens. You stay away from some crap. You'll still have cravings. I still want ice cream or M&Ms and crap like that. Drink a Coca-Cola every now and then, just not all the time. So that's what it's all about. That's why I'm getting Bradley on, and I get Frank Brightson on Fridays. We're talking great food in New Orleans. I mean, not, I said it with Bradley today, talking to a guy at the gym who's just really fit. I'm like, man, what do you eat? He's like, man, pretty much get like low-fat turkey. I mean, nope. Pretty much get low-fat meat. Nope. I make like a bolognese, in the beginning of the week, and I eat on that pretty much all week long. And I'm like, nope, 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 and nope. This guy's a great guy, a really good guy, very generous, nice to me. I ask him advice at the gym. He gives it all the time. Am I doing this right? What's the routine? How do you do this? He's an animal. Sweet guy, nice guy, smart guy, physically fit, in shape, dedicated. Triathlons, all this stuff. That's not me. I'd love to be able to do a triathlon. If by accident, like an incidental, like, damn, Corey, you've been working out at this gym for years, you could go do a triathlon. Fantastic. You obviously still have to train and prep for all that. But if I was like somewhere near that level and I'm nowhere near that level, fantastic. It's not a goal. This guy's an animal. He's a beast and he attacks it. And you'd never know. Very humble and good guy, but I can't do his diet. I'm not going to do his diet. It's all choices. But also, I'm not going to go eat fried food all the time or a big bowl of, fettuccine Alfredo every single time I go eat pasta, and things like that. Pasta, rice, potatoes. You just got to watch it. Processed food. I've slowly gotten away from that. But anyway, so now we'll talk a little bit about that. Just like Jeff. I mean, just toss a little bone, a little information out there. Speaking of, Helm Paint and Decorating is now in Baton Rouge. Helm Paint and Decorating has been in New Orleans for over 55 years. We don't go to the big box store for paint. We don't go to some national chain store. We go to the local guys that take care of us. Paint is what they do. For over half a century, 7 locations in Metro New Orleans, East Bank, West Bank, North Shore, taking care of you. Benjamin Moore, high quality products, free delivery. They're now in Baton Rouge. 4 Helm Paint and Decorating locations in the capital city. Benjamin Moore, high quality paint, free 2-hour delivery in Baton Rouge. When you got to paint in Metro New Orleans, when you got to paint in Metro Baton Rouge, do it once, do it right. Helm Paint and Decorating.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center. It's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof. Now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anyway. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
For Leidenheimer Baking Company, producing the perfect French bread is more than a vocation. It's a sacred mission. And for 5 generations, they've used the same time-honored process, baking their signature loaf with its crisp crust and delicate center, unique and still good to the last crumb. From the finest French Quarter restaurants to your local po' boy shop, for over 125 years, New Orleans' own Leidenheimer.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
From the owners of Katie's in Mid-City and Bienvenue in Harahan, an old school deli with over a dozen specialty sandwiches. Cheska Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Soul Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. Hey, why aren't you at Katie's right now in Mid-City? Perfect time. Thursday afternoon, heading towards the weekend. Head on over to Katie's in Mid-City. The quintessential New Orleans neighborhood restaurant, chef-driven. Scott Craig, chef, owner, operator. I mean, I had him on the air a few weeks ago. We got pompano, flounder. What restaurants have pompano and flounder? He had doormat flounder stuffed. He goes, I got a dozen of them. When they're gone, they're gone. I mean, that's what he had, 12 of them. He grabbed them, fresh local flounder and pompano. That's Katie's in Mid-City. That's as New Orleans as it gets. A Thursday afternoon edition of the program. Thanks so much for joining us. The city says they're going to turn on the traffic cameras in the school zones, and the money collected is going to go into an escrow account till they can figure all of this out. I mentioned this yesterday. The city of New Orleans is so unorganized that the reason the school zone traffic cameras aren't in operation right now is because of that unorganization or dysfunction. A new law in Louisiana, if you have school zone traffic cameras, they only can be turned on an hour before school starts and an hour after school ends, and that's it. 2 major problems in New Orleans. One, it's a charter school system. Just about every school starts and ends at a different time, sometimes different times on different days, a different schedule on Wednesday than Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Get out earlier, start school later, whatever. All different times. To handle this, New Orleans just made these big, broad school zone times, like in the morning, it's 7 a.m. to 9 a.m., regardless of when that school starts. They could start at 9, 8, 7, 7:30, 8:45, whatever. It's a 2-hour time period. So we often drive by schools in Orleans Parish, and there are no students or teachers anywhere around. They're all inside the school. The school is empty. It's a holiday, whatever. The school zone things banging, the lights blinking, the cameras are operating. Anyone going over 20 is going to get clocked, or maybe 22, whatever the threshold is. So that's a major problem, that there's just this generic 2 hour in the morning, 2 hour in the afternoon, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. in the morning, 2:45 to 4:45 in the afternoon. Louisiana law is an hour before school starts. That school starts at 8:30. The school zone lights and the cameras can go from 7:30 to 8:30 only. When school starts at 8:30, the cameras are off and the lights are off. There doesn't need to be a 20-mile-an-hour school zone when school started. And the same thing's true. Before school is let out, there's no reason for it to be a 20-mile-an-hour school zone. School's still in session. Gets let out at 3:30. The lights go on at 3:30 for 1 hour, and that's it. No, New Orleans, it's 2 hours in the morning, 2 in the afternoon. They're not synchronized at all with the schools. So that's the problem. And New Orleans knows it. And New Orleans isn't gonna, right now they're scrambling. How much is it going to cost to put in a device where each individual blinking 20-mile-an-hour school zone light and the traffic camera is actually based off of the school start and end of day time? An hour before it starts, an hour after it ends. I mean, how much is the device, the technology? How much is it going to cost? Can the principal or leader of that school have access to change the time when they need to? Blah, 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 blah. The city did it on the cheap way, the lazy way, just the broad, 2 hour in the morning, 2 hour in the afternoon, not synced up to any school start or end day time. None. That's the whole reason they're not running traffic cameras in school zones. First off, it's a money grab, pure and simple. It's nothing about safety. It's nothing about safety. It's strictly about basically tax-paying, law-abiding citizens. Some mom in a minivan dropped the kids off going through another school zone at 24, 25 miles an hour, totally safe, just sort of unconscious. A real-life policeman wouldn't pull them over, but they're getting a traffic camera ticket. No, it's just a cheap, cheesy, prostituting ourselves out, whoring ourselves out. It's a money grab, pure and simple. It has zero to do with safety. And now this law keeps the city of New Orleans from activating those school zone cameras. But the city's so belligerent, they say they're going to turn them on sometime in the near future, but put that money in an escrow account until they can figure things out. That money's going to go into an escrow account, and then it's going to be returned to the people that got the tickets ultimately. I have a feeling that traffic cameras in school zones in New Orleans, legally, where there's no escrow account, that'll never happen, maybe ever again. Strong possibility of that. Hey, Leidenheimer Baking Company has been around since 1896, baking that Leidenheimer French bread that you absolutely love. Part of the fabric of New Orleans, part of us. I mean, who hasn't experienced Leidenheimer French bread? Every week you could look back on your week and go, when did I have Leidenheimer? Oh, yeah, that po' boy on Monday. Oh, that po' boy on Thursday. At breakfast, I had that little sandwich. Oh, yeah. Well, I went to that fine dining restaurant. They brought the Leidenheimer French bread out to start. The official French bread of New Orleans. The official po' boy French bread, huh? Leidenheimer French bread. Leidenheimer Baking Company. Leidenheimer French bread. It really, good to the last crumb is, what a great, accurate tagline. Good to the last crumb. Thursday afternoon, Corey Johnson with you. Thanks so much for joining us. Hey, we're going to knock out a break. We're going to come right back. Lebanon's Cafe's open till 9:30 tonight. They open every day at 11 a.m. They roll till 9:30 straight through the day. Open throughout the day, 7 days a week. 11 a.m. to 9:30. That means experiencing lamb chops and shish kebab and all your favorite Middle Eastern sides right now. Open till 9:30. Lebanon's Cafe.
My Sittu, that's Arabic for grandmother, used to make the best football kibbe. You can experience kibbe just like my grandmother used to make, and so many other Middle Eastern favorites on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
Since 1896, a true taste of New Orleans. Leidenheimer French bread.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville, the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamar Automotive Complex, there's something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience. Right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
5 generations, family owned and operated. Leidenheimer French bread.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
The sounds of New Orleans. The sounds of New Orleans. It's a jazz band leading the way in New Orleans. Dixieland Jazz in New Orleans. Oh, boy. Corey Johnson back at you on a Thursday afternoon. Yeah, you right. Thanks so much for joining us. If it's Thursday afternoon, Corporal, doesn't that mean tomorrow's Friday? Kaboom goes the dynamite. Head implosion. Yeah, the weekend's upon us. Thank goodness. An absolutely crazy week. So much going on. It was a little hectic this week. LaToya, the Destroyer Cantrell. Tomorrow's Friday. Could we see an indictment of the mayor tomorrow? Could Randy Farrell be indicted tomorrow? Friday's always like the popular indictment day. I guess it kind of it waters down the news cycle a little bit. Not that the 468-26NOLA.com, whatever, the media is not going to go after that story. It's just not going to be as watched by the population. And I guess it's that the FBI, that they're not like, it's going to be known, but it's like I don't know, like it's not a popularity contest. They're trying to low profile. You know, they're more interested in the X's and O's than the publicity. Maybe, I don't know, but that you know, lawyers, folks in the know, Thursday and especially Friday is like indictment day a lot of the time. At least that's the thought. Tomorrow, Michael Hecht will join us from Greater New Orleans Inc. We'll talk about the intensified crackdown on illicit activities in the French Quarter and getting ready for the Super Bowl in general. Governor Jeff Landry appointed Michael Hecht from Greater New Orleans Inc. as the point man to get New Orleans prepped for the Super Bowl, to figure out what needs to be looked at, what needs to be fixed, what needs to be upgraded, what needs to be repaired, what needs to be replaced, what needs to be demolished, what needs to be built new before the Super Bowl on February 9th. It's about 175 days out, less than 6 months, and starting to have the ants on a sugar cube type mentality in a lot of places. And the French Quarter is one of them. Cleaning up the quarter, getting rid of the illicit activities in the quarter. I mentioned this, and I mentioned litter in the city. We're cleaning up the litter and the trash. How do we sustain it after the Super Bowl? How do we keep the quarter nice? How do we keep the city clean? How do we do that? That's the big test. Tomorrow, Michael Hecht will join us, and we'll discuss that. Super Bowl prep, and hopefully some good economic news for the city. We could use that. Some jobs coming into the city. I mentioned yesterday how UNO is just hemorrhaging, down to about 6,000 students. 20 years ago, they had 18,000. A third of the students. Buildings closing, maybe getting rid of fall commencement. Dorm rooms with SUNO, Xavier, and Dillard students in them because UNO can't fill their dorms, much less thinking of breaking ground and building new ones, which is what they should be doing. UNO should be booming. I mentioned this yesterday, and I'll bring it up with Michael Hecht tomorrow. Where's the outcry? Where's the mayor? Where's the city council, state reps, senators representing New Orleans? UNO is an economic engine. It should be a monstrous economic engine. Look at Central Florida, South Florida, those universities. They went from commuter schools to 60, 70,000 students each in about 20, 30 years. Just insane growth from not even on the map, unknown, to nationwide. You know, just unbelievable. That's what UNO should be. You've got the city of New Orleans to sell, a beautiful lakefront campus. It's insane. It's typical. It's a huge asset that we ignore in New Orleans, and there's just no excuse for that. Hey, when Michael Hecht joins us tomorrow from Greater New Orleans Inc., that segment's always brought to you by Latrim, the global manufacturing giant. Yeah, that Latrim. Go to their website, Latrim.com. Latrim spelled L-A-I-T-R-A-M, Latrim.com. The shrimp peeling machine they invented over 70 years ago, still the industry standard worldwide. The all-plastic modular conveyor belts, Intralocks, the industry standard worldwide. The Lapierre stair, the alternating tread stair, just amazing, genius. Industry standard worldwide. This is a New Orleans born, bred, based company, a private New Orleans company. And they're looking for you. They're hiring. Latram.com. Latram spelled L-A-I-T-R-A-M. Latram.com for a full listing of positions available. What's that, Blue Boy? You're looking for an overnight gig. 10 a.m. to like 6 a.m. I'm sure Latram can accommodate, Blue Boy. Go to their website, Latram.com. Thanks to Quinn Hillyer and Ellis Henican joining us in the 4 o'clock hour. Bradley Schneller and Jeff Dorson earlier this hour. Tomorrow, Fantasy Friday. See you then, straight up 4 o'clock. Don't miss it.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 6 p.m.